Right, I've got a box here with something a little different to what I normally do. It is a DIY guitar kit, so let's crack her open and have a little look. Okay, so let's get this box open. Scissors. So this was from Gear for Music. It's a 12-string Stratocaster. These are, they rate their kits slightly different. So you have sort of beginner, intermediate, and you know, heavy duty pro luthier, I suppose. But yeah, this is more for the beginner. So my first DIY guitar kit, I thought that'd be ideal. Here's the invoice. So this was a 12-string LA electric guitar DIY kit for $74.99, and I went for the next working day delivery, which added another $5.99 in total. So all in all I paid £80.98, and it was, I ordered it Saturday morning and it was delivered, which is today, Monday morning. So, okay, so little bag of goodies there. So in the kit you get, in fact actually I'll put it all out of the box now, so I can move that out of the way. So I'll keep the best stuff till last. It actually feels a pretty light body. So it's empty the bag out. So you get 12 strings, which actually feel, sometimes the cheaper strings have like an horrible coating on them, but these actually don't feel too bad. So set of strings, neck plate with screws, you've got a guitar lead, there's an Allen key there, one for the truss rod, one for the saddles, input jack, and it's got the guitar straps in there with all the fixing screws. That'll be all the 12 tuners with all the screws and whatever. I'll have fun putting them on. And that'll be the bridge. It's got the string ferrules because it's a string through body, and a little bit of cable there. I'm guessing it might be an earthing cable, I'm not sure. I was actually quite interested to look at this bridge because obviously being 12 string, yeah, a bit different to your sort of norm. So 6 strings go through the back of the bridge, and 6 strings I guess go through to the body. Guitar neck. So this is a maple neck with a poplar laminated board. So I guess it's just obviously that rosewood CITES malarkey. They have to offer different variations, so you get a lot of this like composite wood now, which actually don't feel too bad. So the frets are just like medium jumbo, I guess. Just a pure wood grain finish. So when you buy the 6-string versions, they come with a big paddle, so you can shape the headstock how you want. Could possibly just round this over. Personally, I'll probably just keep it as it is. I'll probably stain this at some point as well. Frets actually don't feel too bad, you know. Not very sharp at all. A few little sharp ones there. Don't know where you can. Well, the camera's going to pick them up. They're pretty decent. It looks like about a 14-inch radius fingerboard, but that's actually pretty bang straight. No twists. Not bad, decent. It's got a nice chunk to it as well. Obviously 12 string, it's going to be wider than your standard guitar neck, but I've got big fingers, so should be okay. So comes with a pre-wired pickguard, which is cheating I guess for a DIY kit, but this is aimed at the beginners, so to be honest, you know, saves a lot of hassle. You can buy a preloaded pickguard, so all you have to really do is just wire up the input jack. So light body, it's a basswood body, so it's got your belly curve. I will say, I'll get the tape measure up. It is just about 4 centimetre thickness, and not quite the full thickness. This is more the sort of thickness you get with a Squire Affinity Strat. Yeah, really light. Quite like that wood grain. Although it does run in at a bit of an angle that side. I'm guessing what we got, 3 pieces. One little end bit there. One there, one there. They don't actually come with the instructions, you have to download them off Gear for Music's website. But yeah. Do I need instructions? Probably not, but I'll print them off anyway. Yeah, I guess the next thing is just to put it all together. I've taken the pickguard off to have a sort of quick look what it's all about. So it's a 3-ply pickguard, obviously 3 single coils, volume, 2-tone controls, 5-way selector switch, ceramic pickups. Yeah, that's your wire in there. Obviously it's going to be cheap and cheerful, but don't actually look too bad, to be honest. For this build, I'm literally going to build it untreated as is. That is very light. Yeah, I'm going to leave it untreated as is. I will do something to it later down the line. I may stain it, and I'll probably, I don't know, I may varnish it, but I will come back and put some cavity spray in and shield it all. But for today's video, I'm literally just going to build it as it is. Okay, so I'm going to put a blob of solder just on the volume pot there, and then put the bridge ground wire in. Can you see that there? I've put a little bit of solder just on the tip of the wire there, and I've done the same to the wires for the input jack, and put some dabs of solder on there just so it's easier to make your join. So I'm gonna make a mess of this volume pot. It's a bit tight access, but let's see how we go. So just heat the metal up and just get a nice blob of solder building up there. I'll do. And then get my ground wire. That should just okay, so that's the ground wire on. Right, so onto the input jack. So you've got 2 connectors, one's your ground, one's your hot. So when your input guitar jack goes in, the head of the guitar jack touches this, that's your hot, and then the inside sleeve, that's your ground. So I know that one connects to the inside, so that's the ground. The hot is the one that joins to that, which is that one. Okay, so let's get this input jack in. So where I soldered the tip of the wire and the contact on the input jack, you don't actually need to put any more solder on, so there should be enough on that to sort that out. So onto the, for now I've actually made that a little bit too long. Let's trim that one down a little bit. Spin up. And again, I don't go straight through, I'll go in at an angle just to help us get a better join on it. Okay, we're good to go. So they're both done. soldering finished. Right, so time to screw it all back together. Let's get this pick guard back on. Ah, that's the solder, just found it. Wow, would fancy getting to the tip of that with a soldering iron. I've got my ground wire sticking out just there. Again, there's a little hole just inside the cavity, so that fed straight through the bridge. So we know it's grounded now. So there's 5 screws for this. So the octave one will go through that, the normal string will go through the body. Okay, so the bridge is on. The screws sort of overlap where the saddle screws are, so when you tighten them in, you're hitting these springs, so you have to sort of kind of twist them and move them out of the way, but yeah, not too bad. That's on. I think what I'll do next is put the tuners on, and then I can put the neck on. Okay, so onto the tuners. Pretty simple fit. You have 2 different styles. One's obviously left-handed, right-handed, whatever you call them. One goes one way and the others go the other way. So you have to line up these little holes, so just make sure you get them the right way round. And what you do is feed the tuner through the hole, get one of the washers over it, and get these little screw sort of lugs, feed them through, tighten them up. You don't need to tighten them up really tight at the minute, just sort of finger tight, just so they're in. And then on the back, get one of the screws and then fit it to the neck. Okay, so that's in. I'm going to do that with all the rest of them. Once they're all in, then these screws, I'll go around and tighten them all up with a socket wrench. So, should we put the neck on? So the neck is actually a nice tight fit. So, line the screws up. Get the neck plate. Yeah, that looks pretty good. The overview. So, not bad. Jobs to do now. Okay, so I'll put the strings on. It comes with this bar to go. Let me show you up. Turn you around. That goes over there. And it says to put the strings on, tune it up, then put it on. Obviously you can't do that, it's going to be too much tension. So what I might do for now is not put this on, and I'll have a think about what I'm going to use as a string tree, because I don't really like the look of that, if I'm honest. So I may just put the strings on now, tune her up, See what she sounds like without that on. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that, and I haven't really looked into what other trees 12 strings have, but yeah, for now I'll leave that off. Right, so before I put the strings on, I might just check the wiring, make sure the pickups are working. So okay. Yeah. Yep, so all the wiring's working, no humming, selector works. Okay. So now, fit the strings. A bit I haven't been looking forward to. There we go, we're off. So now we need to work out what strings for what. Okay, so any downside with this kit is the strings they supply, they don't colour code them, so you have no idea what string is for what. So I'm really going to have to wing it, I guess. I'm going to try and work out what gauge this is. You really could do with a gauge tester, but I'm presuming they're 9. So if I work out what a set of 9 would be, just a normal set, and then whatever's left, they'll be the octave strings, and then I'll just have to try and guess the thickness from there. But one flaw with the kit, like I say, colour code these so you know what's what. Okay, so I think I've worked them out. That's the normal set strings, these are the octaves, so the low E to the high E and the low E to the high E. Yeah, so without this string true, I'm just going to see how it goes. Obviously we're not going to get the break angle I really want. Okay, first one on. Get the normal E, so this is going to have to go through the back of the body. Hopefully that comes out okay, yeah, straight through, no missing. And for anybody who wants to know how to string a guitar, let me zoom in a bit. So what I tend to do is feed the string through. Then I'll get just enough slack to go with my fingers there on this side, and I'll go back on itself. Go under the string, put it tight, and then kink it back over, and that locks it into place. That's the way I've always done these modern style tuners. Just make sure you hold it into place till it gets pretty taut. I'll just get them relatively tight for now and then tune it up once I've got them all on. Strings are on. Took a while, but yeah, as you can imagine, 12 strings, but we got there in the end. The D string and the G string, they keep slipping out the nut, so I'm definitely going to need to put that bar in. But definitely got a big sound, and that's why I've got the capper on for now, because they kept popping out. So yeah, I'm going to have to keep this capper on, slacken the strings off, and then hopefully I'll get enough play to drop that down, and then put this in. I'm not sure how far down I need to go. Ideally I'd like to drill a pilot hole into the wood there, but I haven't got a drill bit small enough. So hopefully these won't split the wood on the headstock. So I'm going to start by loosening these off again. Hopefully they don't all pop out of place. And then that'll be enough for the strings to drop in this sort of string tree to hold the strings down in place. Okay, so I've slackened all them off. I'm going to attempt to put this in now. So it's the morning after the day before. I put the strings on, put the string tree on. I was giving it a quick setup and the octave G string snapped, and I've got no spare strings for this, which is a bit of a bummer, but we shall soldier on. I think there's a bit of a flaw in the saddle design, bridge design. The string snapped at the bottom. Initially when I was putting the strings in, I was going straight for the back of the bridge, over the saddle, and then up to the, you know, the tuning pegs. But I noticed the string was covering the intonation screw. So then I looked underneath the saddle and there was a little tiny hole to put the string through. So I flipped it around. The only downside with that is when you put the string through, I don't know if it will pick it up on camera, but it goes that way and then across, and then it's jumped straight up. But also underneath the string goes sort of down and then directly up, so it's a bit of a extreme angle, and they're quite sharp edges on these saddles, so that's a bit of a design flaw. And also this, get that in, this string tree, I put it in where Gear for Music recommended in their manual. It's got a bit of an angle now, it's twisted a bit, but it's not quite wide enough to go over the edges of strings. This low E is literally just hanging on. The high E just flips over, so twisted it was straight. But yeah, not the best design for that or that. So yeah, I'll just have to carry on the video as is. Obviously I'm going to come back to this anyway and take the strings off and paint it, so I'll stick a new set of strings on. The setup wise, the action, I got it pretty much where I wanted it. I didn't want to go too low, obviously 12 strings, so I'm talking about probably about 2 millimeters high on the low E side, and it goes down to about 1.5 on the high E side, so it's not too bad, and the neck is pretty darn straight. I've just put a little bit of relief in it. So just need to put the guitar strap bits on, and I think we're pretty much done. I adjusted the pickups just sort of by eye, no measurements or anything, just raised them up a bit, so and the bridge could do come down a little bit. But yeah, the way this bridge I'm just not happy with, the way it's designed, the way that octave string pulls down, it sort of twists the saddles so they're all sitting at a bit of an angle. I've tried to level them off, but the best I can. But yeah, should we plug it in now and see what she sounds like? Obviously minus the octave G string, which can't be helped, but I will come back to this at some point once it's been painted or varnished, whatever I've done to it. Yeah, quite digging the neck on this actually. So let's plug it in. Alright, so with it plugged in, obviously minus the G octave string, but gotta go with what you got. So it's the bridge. It's in between bridge and a middle pickup. Okay, so this is middle. It's in between middle and the neck. This is the neck. So there you go. That's the what it sounds like so far. Obviously, need to get a bit of colour into it. I might see if I can get another bridge, because that is not the best design, and I want to do something with that string tree, so that's not the best either. But yeah, not bad. Pickups, they sound okay, clean. I ain't going to bother playing them through distortion because they get really muddy, so yeah, you definitely want to change them out. But kit guitar, £75 plus the shipping. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, string snaps, and I ain't got a set of strings, so it's still a work in progress. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you like the 12 string Strat with the large headstock. Yeah, pretty easy build. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, because there is a few kits on the Gear for Music website, including a Jazzmaster. So if you want to see me build more of these, yeah, let me know, and I will be doing some more stuff to this. So for now, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for the channel. Hit the notification bell so you stay up to date on all the new videos. And follow me on Instagram, themeatmanifesto. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. See you all soon. Peace.